Okay, it's time for, wait a minute, King Kong versus Godzilla. Get it the right way around. It's like Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, it's fine. King Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus King Kong. It's a Mandela effect. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Okay, yesterday it was announced that King Kong vs Godzilla has been put back to November next year. So it's been put back. It's going to be a year before we get Godzilla vs King Kong, the remake. It's meant to be not too long, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think in the new generation, I think Godzilla came along, Skull Island being a prequel, the little nods to the heads, the Easter eggs, and Godzilla 2, a little brief cameos by King Kong. But it's great to think that back in I should have started with the book instead of the action figures. Just want to get the dates right for these ones. So it's an amazing artwork on that. Absolutely amazing. Probably need to hold it a bit better for the YouTube still. Yeah, pausing for the YouTube still. 1963, so we got that US release version. So this isn't the Japanese version. I'm guessing the guy on the television is added, but yeah, it's just amazing to think back then that we got this. So this, I think, don't absolutely go berserk here, mind. This was the first collaboration with Toho would bring King Kong. So King Kong was well dead, even though we would get King Kong Lives a couple of decades later. King Kong was well dead in the original movie, and Toho bring him back for this as a big fight off, and this is the third in the Godzilla box set. Now have a look there, I've got some weird Godzilla vs King Kong. This is totally weird. See that one there, that's King Kong X Godzilla. I've had that, it was just so hard to get a hold of originally this. I don't even know where I got that from actually. But it's King Kong's face from the remake. We'll get to that in a minute. But we're talking Jeff Bridges remake. And yeah, King Kong vs Godzilla is in that box set. It's also here. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. There as well. That's pretty cool artwork. Special features. Fucking face on that. So yeah, I've done a review Rant Random already for King Kong Escapes, which is the sequel to Toho's. So they pretty much had King Kong for 2 movies. So this is weird. Godzilla, for a start, is still in the ice block, which they buried him in Godzilla Raid, so they sort of honour that and go, right, Godzilla's fought out and Godzilla's back. Radio, we've got a bit of a problem. And this is the first one in colour in this box set. Now, some of it looks shit. There's a scene that you see twice, and it's like this building, and the grain, I was just like, ooh. And we established that Godzilla is green and Godzilla's fire breath is blue. So that was pretty cool. So we got that Godzilla walking around. Godzilla has a really low hanging jaw on this, I think. I'm going to start trying to look at Godzilla. Because the first ever Godzilla I've seen was Destroy All Monsters, and he's got that sort of beak. But this is like a low hanging jaw. And the suit looks alright for what it is. And he comes out and he's just like hanging around, starts trashing a few things. Meanwhile, I was going to say, there's a weird spaceship at the start. And you can see the strings. And he says weird ship, and I don't know what's going on, because obviously this has been heavily narrated over by the guy talking to us on the television, getting special guests in, talking about Godzilla's brain, the King Kong's fucking head. It goes on and it goes on and it goes on. So anyway, meanwhile, King Kong is discovered on an island, and they sort of retell it very quickly. There's no discovery of myth. It's it's what Anaconda stole, the blood orchid, the berries, and we get to the island quite quickly, and big war. A lot of the natives look like they've been painted. I was like, well, that guy's definitely looks like someone's run over and rubbed more. You need to look a bit darker and stuff like that. So it's like, whoa. Anyway, giant octopus turns up, which is pretty cool, and it's obviously honoured in Skull Island as well. But this giant octopus turns up, and it's a real octopus, and it looks great, and it's great. Take the miniature, and they've just had a lot of fun with that. And then King Kong just turns up, like, look at what's going on there, and they have a bit of a fight, and it's pretty cool. Then you get to really look at King Kong, and you go, Now, I understand that long arms make sense. He's not like fucking he is in Skull Island. This is why I love this room form. You know, it's pretty much, you know, where we're going for on that one. Will he stand there for the rest of this video? Probably, yeah. Okay, this could be disastrous. So yeah, fights this octopus off. It's quite good how they've done it. The blue screen has not aged well. All the people running in, running out, you can just see they've got like this glowing blue line around them. Probably at the time done well for it, I guess. Great how they used a little bits of scores from here or there. They seem to use the same primal roar for the Kong, and then he has a few beers, some drums start, and he falls asleep. So what the fuck? What's going on? So meanwhile, that's how they get Kong off the island anyway. Godzilla's back, and they're a bit worried that Godzilla's just going to wreck the place, and they're worried, and they sort of slap a cease and desist saying you cannot bring Kong to Hong Kong. Yeah, no, it's China. I've been there. Why would I get that confused? To Japan, and I'm just a bit worried about that being on top of there actually. Anyway, so they set up a little mini fight. King Kong falls off his little raft, and there's quite a good startling image of King Kong. And bear in mind, just a guy in a suit, it's just eerie in the water. It's quite creepy. It's quite startling. But then you realise, hang on, Kong's ginger. He's a bit ginger there. A bit ginger on there. But Kong is just more of a dark ape, and yeah. And then he's got a low barren jaw, and then his eyes. There's something just not right with Kong's eyes. So anyway, there's this little confrontation with Godzilla. Kong's meant to be smart, but Godzilla's up on the hill. Bit of nuclear fire going down there. And then he buggers off. He's like, fuck that. But then it fades to black, and then there's a few things that weird us out about that. It's almost like we seem to be missing some of the story. Again, with the narration going over the top. And then there's a guy in it who will appear in loads of Godzilla movies later on. He's the short Japanese guy with a little tash, and there's a lot of binoculars going on, a lot of binocular effect, and it's happening all the way through. And then King Kong turns up for a little bit of a rant around the city, just happens to grab one of the lead actors we sort of follow, and sort of grabs her in a hand, like Homer and Marge there. Stands on top of this building, trying to recreate, but obviously he's huge, and in proportion it doesn't look right, and it's like, okay, you've got King Kong on top of a building, which is almost like a stool. It's like me standing on a fucking stool, and the fire grenades over his head. Meanwhile, the weird puppet in his hand, and they start drumming and put him to sleep, and you think, what the fuck? And then he's on the floor, he's out, he's asleep, he's having a nap. They fucking pull the up on him, don't they? They just fucking trap loads of balloons to him and fucking lift him up like up and transport him out Fuji, and you think. Meanwhile, Godzilla's just out for a hike up the hill, and they drop him off. Fucking slides down the hill, takes him out, rugby tackle, let him get a fight. You know, that's what we wanted. You know, and it is ludicrous. Picking them up by the tails, eat your vegetables with the trees and stuff, you know, like ridiculously stuff sped up. Then all of a sudden King Kong is apparently a lightning god. He's fucking 4, gets struck by lightning, blue face, and then he starts electrocuting Godzilla. It's like, what's going on here? And there's some startling funny bits, you know. Puppet work, I mean, it's guys in suits, I mean, yeah. But again, it's weird looking back, because like, as a fan of all these movies and how ludicrous they are, to know that this was one of the original ones before the reign of Mechagodzilla and King Ghidorah and all that kinds of stuff. And you think that, you know, Toho really took Kong serious. I just don't think the suit works well. And they even put, in the obviously wrestling terms, King Kong over Godzilla, because Godzilla still, at this point, is not a national treasure. He's a product of fucking the times, isn't he? He's the bad guy. He's like the natural disaster. So they put King Kong over, as they just roll down the hill into the ocean, and King Kong swims back off to Skull Island, and Godzilla just gone, you know. It's like, And then it comes up, the end, straight. No like rolling credits, no bonus features or anything like that. So yeah, just boom. There's another King Kong versus Godzilla. Fucking hell, have you owned that one? Jesus, it's exactly the same as a Blu-ray. Yeah, yeah. They have the fight around the temple and go in. Fucking Godzilla and King Kong have got one thing in common: they fucking hate trains. But yeah, I think that's my ludicrous rant. Over. I'll see you in the outtakes. So the next one's going to be Godzilla vs. Mothra from the year after. I do have that on VHS, and fuck my life, I think the outtake will have to be me pulling that VHS out just to put it in my collection. If anyone's following the channel, I've been looking for Fifth Element for ages, and that's when I realised Godzilla vs. Mothra was down there. But in the timeline, I'm going to watch a new John Cusack movie. So I'm 5 John Cusack movies in to my Good, the Bad and the What the Fucks. So yeah, Godzilla vs King Kong. I'm a massive fan of King Kong. I think for when it was done, it was good. It's really good, and it's told probably what's going to happen with Godzilla vs King Kong, or Kong versus Zilla, whatever it's going to be called. I think there'll be Monarch and all these collaborations will be going on. I think what's going to happen, Godzilla and King Kong are going to clash. Kong's been on Skull Island for a couple of decades. He's probably grown a bit bigger. In theory, Godzilla's a wrath of nature, you know what I mean? He's electrical god. He's just, and Kong's just a massive fucking ape, but he's got the physical strength. And as they point out on that, he's a smarter ape. I think they'll have a battle, a build-up. I think there'll be a third entry, and I think King Ghidorah will be back, either as the end of, so Godzilla and King Kong will fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if they chuck in other ones. Angus, Rodan's still alive, isn't he? We had hints that they could be bringing other ones in. Mechagodzilla and I think Gigan are just too out there. They might bring Gigan in, but it's the whole electronic and fucking bandsaw in his belly and stuff like that. You think, oh, fucking hell. But I think it'll be Godzilla vs Kong. I think they'll do like the whole fucking world's going to end, but it'll have to be King Ghidorah come back. Maybe it's with one metal head. Maybe it's built up and they'll have them battle off. And I don't think either of them lose, and I don't think either of them will die. I do think this could be the end of it. They could set it up, but you think, where would they go after that? Like, I would safely say keep it like that. There's no point. I don't know how more ludicrous can go. They've got quite a good story, even though it's the first, the establishment. So they might as well just have a massive rumble in this again and just end it with it too and just move on. But yeah, it's my rant about Godzilla vs King Kong. It's probably the longest one so far. Definitely twice as long as Godzilla Raids again. The next one will be Mothra. I say poor Mothra. Killed off, didn't you? But nothing stopped Mothra coming back in the next one. Depends how far ahead it's set. If the girl from Stranger Things is returning straight away, it'll not be set too far in the future. But again, is she for love of sci-fi in the UK because they've moved it back? She'll be available to come there. It's getting late. I need to stop this right now. But no, highly funny, highly enjoyable. King Kong versus Godzilla. See you in the outtakes. This is the fucking outtakes. It's too late. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.
And now, the end is here.